Listen, welcome back to Just Juice podcast, episode 4. We're going to go straight into this one. Yeah, listen, I've got 3 new guests with me today. I'm going to introduce the man to my left. Introduce yourself, bro.
Myself, the DJ Kash. What's going on, people? Hope everyone's good. Love.
love. And then we've got 2 special guests with us today. They're going to be the main point and main focus of the podcast today. Guys, introduce yourself, man.
So we got myself, Jazz, one of the directors of Syrupbar London. And on my left, we've got...
I thought he was going to introduce me. I'll introduce myself. I'm also a director at Syrupbar London. Nice to meet you boys today.
Nice to meet you, man. Thank you, boys, for coming on there, man. Honestly, obviously, I haven't done nothing with anyone in the industry yet, so I thought this might be the perfect time because obviously we got probably the best bar people in the game, man. That's my opinion, anyway.
Probably,
100%.
definitely.
Every single time I've gone to a wedding now, you lot have been there, man. I've just got drunk.
Yeah, it's been a busy year, definitely. Seen you at the bar quite a few times.
Quite a few times, man. I've been there, man. Yeah, man. I wanted to ask you a few questions, man. But firstly, about you lot, how long has Syrupbar been around?
So it's a funny one because we actually established the company in 2014.
Okay.
Now, people might say we've not been around for that long, but go on our Instagram, scroll all the way to the bottom, you see our first post. We took it seriously around 2016, 2017, and it blew off from that point. And we haven't looked back. As you guys probably know, we've been in the industry for some time. Started off as DJs like yourselves, but now we're in the bar game, and yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I can't lie. I've seen you lot over the years as well, man. I've seen you lot grow as well. Obviously, I've done quite a lot of jobs with you lot. We work quite close together at some point as well. But honestly, man, you lot are smashing it, man. You lot are smashing it at the park. Everywhere I go, man, it's Syrupbar.
Hopefully it continues like that.
That's it, definitely.
It definitely will, man. But obviously, like you lot said you were DJs as well. How long ago was that?
Funny enough, man, we started off with,
I'm going to say, what?
Famous
20?
Sting London back in the day. Our uncles, Gulu and Ali, respect to them, put us on the game. Done it with them for what, 2-3 years?
About 2-3 years.
Started off as roadies like everyone, picking up 16 bins, 16 tops up front.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it.
But
them days.
Yeah, man, we were DJs. He was the mic man, I was the DJ. And then again, we blossomed, carried on going, joined up with Paragon. Big up our boys, Taran and MB that have taken over now. And yeah, man, now we're just in the bar game.
Found our own little niche now,
Yeah.
So what made you look like pull away from the whole DJ aspect and then whatever you could have gone any lane inside the event industry?
I think
What made you go for the bars?
I think if we're going to go way, way back, and I think you guys know this better than most, right? I think when you're a DJ / MC and you're there for the event, you're there from, let's say it starts in the evening, you're there from 11 a.m. and you're the last one out at 3:30, 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
I think at that moment in time, we thought to ourselves, how are we going to get a little bit of time back during the evening, at least somewhat? And I think when we were brainstorming ideas in 2014, it was all these different avenues we were looking to go down. And I think what fitted or sat quite well with us was definitely, being Punjabi by nature, like everything was around alcohol. And there wasn't actually anyone in the bar game back then, It was always, as you guys will probably remember, a table with a white cloth, couple of Jameson bottles on the top.
That's it.
Big up Jameson. But I think it started to grow from that point on. We were sitting down, we're like, what can we do? How can we make it a little bit better? And a little bit better turned into great, dare I say it. And we found that as our niche and we were like, we'll give this a go. And I don't think we've looked back since.
Not really. See, my take was it was a bit different, to be fair. It was Hammersmith Novotel, if I remember correctly. It was my good mate's sister's wedding, Eamon, and we were DJing. And they had the bar outside, in the foyer bit.
Yeah.
And there wasn't bars in the venues back in those days. And I was DJing and my dance floor was dead. And I'm like,
that's because he was the DJ.
As some people would say.
Where was it?
I'm like, the dance floor's dead. Like, where's everyone? You got the few auntia, the few kids and stuff. But all the men, like, they weren't nowhere to be seen. So anyway, doors open, you see them all crowded at the bar. So I said to Sam on the way home, I said, we need to start incorporating bars in the venue.
Yeah.
Keep the party together, And I think that's when we came up with Syrupbar, and we only started solely on bars. Started doing the bars and stuff. And then we started seeing the cocktails coming, the mocktails, the drink service, the flair tenders and everything. And it just like all fell together. And then next minute, we looked at each other and we're like, we can't be DJs anymore. Like, we've got a full business kind of thing. Yeah. And that's when we hung up the headphones.
We did try though.
Yeah, we tried both, but you can't bite off too much kind of thing. But yeah, man, that's how Syrupbar kind of formed.
Yeah, it's like what I said to you when I saw you last week. Like when you feel the most scared to jump, that's when you jump and just do it. Like you lot took the risk and it took you this far.
No risk, no rewards, bro.
No risk,
One
no
of our
rewards.
good
Exactly,
friends as
man.
well is like, until you pull the safety net from underneath you, you're never going to know how great you can actually be and
Exactly,
what you want to do.
Exactly.
I think another thing that it fits quite well, not that we're alcoholics or anything, it's just Coke, guys. Maybe not for these two. But I think what it comes down to is the passion. When you find passion for something that you want to do, it just flows so much easier.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I lost the passion for MCing or DJing because I've picked up the mic a few times since and, I reminisce and I think, wow, damn, I do miss it. But at the same time, I think, when you're speaking to clients or speaking to customers and, it comes across where, you know what you want to be doing. And I think from that point of view, it just felt right. So, Syrupbar was created 2014. And like I said, we ain't looked back since.
I started back in 2014. Let's fast forward to 2023. Obviously, like the wedding stuff, like it's dying down now. It's it's October now. So what was the year like for you? Like,
Wedding hasn't died down yet, bro. It's still busy.
Well, yeah.
Still busy. But it's bro, from January onwards, it's been every weekend, non-stop, midweeks. It's been great, to be fair. And we've not only done weddings, that's the good thing of it.
That's the beauty of it, yeah.
We've done music videos for people like Ambush. We've done like networking events for like the Founders Club. We've done corporate events, birthday parties, engagements,
even the Seek Awards, and there was no alcohol at that one, but it was even the Seek Awards, which was quite a good one in Westminster Park Plaza. We've done some big fashion events out in Shoreditch, and I think even some niche gin providers have had us come and set up shop. Seen our cocktail staff and they're like, wow, you guys do it differently. So I think from our point of view, the Asian wedding industry is where we predominantly find our feet, but it's been, as you guys probably know, it's been full on week in, week out. And like Jazz just said, to be fair, we've got the NHM coming up this Saturday. We're at Barnet Stadium come Friday. So where some people are saying it is dying down and it is getting a bit quiet, don't get me wrong, it is. But we're still finding to be quite busy, in all honesty.
Which is good,
Obviously, like you lot do it week in, week out, but like, obviously you lot must face a lot of challenges on the way. Like,
are you lot there at the actual events yourself? Like, are you dealing with
any one of our clients?
They know
they always want either Jazz or Sam at one of the events. Jazz is the sort of guy say he'll be at the event and then he'll be like, Sam, are you going to go? And I'll be like, well, one of us have to go.
One of us will always be there. It's always good for the client to see who they've been dealing with.
Of course, it's good. It's good to show face. It's good to show face.
But like even like you said, what do we do kind of thing? But we're busy. Like you need to remember, we're DJs. They can just go to their unit, load up all the rig one day, and go kind of set up. With us, we got to go cash and carry, get this, get that, prep this, prep that. Like for us, is a lot of time consumed over the week. So where we Monday to Fridays is kind of eaten up doing those runs and stuff. Yeah. Maybe not for Sam, but definitely for me. That's
the thing that a lot of people don't see the back end of what we do. Like during the weekdays, all the time that we take out to go do this, go do that. Like even for DJs, going to pick up a hip sheet for a booth. It takes time out your day, man, and you got to get it printed. You got to do all of that, man.
I don't think there's many industries as well. And I think it's fair to say there's not many industries where you're on call 24/7. We're not even doctors. Where your clients are calling you at 10:30 at night on the week of their wedding, and they might be nervous about something or they haven't asked a question. And I think that's what people don't realize. That's full on. We have families and people that we want to see on the week or go watch a football game or the Champions League. Sometimes these are things that you have to miss because at the end of the day, you can't mess up on someone's wedding, ununfortunately. You got to make sacrifices.
You got to make sacrifices to do what you got to do for your business, man.
Definitely.
If you want to succeed, man, you have to do that.
Got to put the time in now.
You have to put the time and effort in, man.
The next 10 years, that's the aim of the game.
That's it, man. But like, say for example, you're not doing like a full show, like a wedding.
Yeah.
What would be like the most challenging thing that you've got to face on the day?
I think from my point of view, I think sometimes it's quite challenging just making sure that everything is going the way that you've promised your client for it to go. Now, you don't want them to realize at the end of the day, we're offering unlimited drinks packages. And when you're offering an unlimited drinks package, I think there's two things that I always say when I speak to clients. What we try to do is we don't want people waiting at the bar too long. But what they won't realize is that sometimes that you're working with some of the caterer suppliers or some of the hall suppliers and things don't always go to plan. Like for example, I was at the Fairmont, and I'll say this quite openly. I'd say about 3 weeks ago for a Syrian wedding. Big up Ramson, it was a great wedding. And we asked for, let's just say, 1,000 Slim Jims, which is normally your tall glasses.
Yeah.
But then on the day I get there, and then I realize, we've only got 300 allocated. But when you've got 400 guests, it causes a problem. So then you've got to make sure that you got the guys at the back, your back barman, actually replenishing the glasses. It's little things like that people don't see, but you want a seamless service.
Yeah, of course.
And I think when you're trying to offer a seamless service, you're charging a client X amount for whatever you're trying to give them. I think that's the most important thing, and that's some of the challenges I find. I'm sure Jazz will have his own.
They should get what they pay for.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not unlimited if you're waiting 5-10 minutes at the bar.
Course, definitely,
right?
yeah.
Definitely. Challenges, bro. Challenges can happen in a blink of an eyelid, you know, like everything could be going so smooth and then boom, like something just happened. But the main thing is that's where your project management skills come in. As long as you got a good team, you got a good bar manager and everyone's overlooking it and you got an itinerary to follow, those challenges, you won't really see that many of them. So you just got to make sure that the business is running smoothly,
of course,
with a calm manner. You know, if you're hot-headed and you're running around like a headless chicken, of course you're going to find
you're going to face problems. Yeah, you're going to face a lot of problems, but obviously, like there's not all downs in Syrupbar. What's the fun things about it, man?
Having me at your event. It's fun, man. You got to have a good team, you know, like when we link up at events, it's all fun, right? We're all at the bar, we're having a few drinks, you know, we're networking. You meet so many people, bro. Indian weddings, 300, 400, 500 people, like couple of conversations, you don't know what doors that can open. So it's all about banter. You got to have fun. If you're not having fun and you don't love what you do, then you're in the wrong industry.
You're in the wrong industry, man.
I think one of the challenges we have as well is the DJs are always at the bar clogging out, right?
Yeah, especially Karan and Cash.
Karan DJ and Cash over there.
Cheers to that.
But yeah, man, it's all fun and games, man.
How do you not like deal with the drunk people? Like you must get that.
Yeah, you know what's funny? You know what? I'm going to say something on this point. I think, you know, at the beginning of the night, everyone's your best friend. And I love that. You know, everyone's so nice to you. And then come the end of the night, it's like you're the biggest villain in the room. You know, someone's asking for another Jameson. You're like, what? Like, last one. What do you mean? I'm this person's boy. I'm that person's friend. I'm like, well, to be quite frank, you know when someone's intoxicated at that point. Yeah. It's hard. I think like Jazz just touched upon, you got to stay calm demeanor, be nice enough to be realizing, you know, like we have licenses as well that we have to adhere to. And I think that's the side of it that people don't realize, you know, all it takes is me giving someone like you guys a bottle after our licensable hours or the venue licensable hours. And all of a sudden we're in big trouble. But I think how we deal with it is just staying calm. You know, you're always going to have a few of the guys or even some of the ladies, believe it or not. Yeah. They're like, you know, they're not going to take no for an answer. But then you just say to them, yeah, I'll pour you one and you run off to the back and just get away with it.
What we started to do now is a new service at the end of it. We just make a little hamper. So when the party's gone, you know how people are. They normally go to the hotel rooms or the hotel lobby. Yeah. We'll just give them a few bottles of each and let's let them party kind of thing. And it keeps them.
It's good though. It's
something that they'll remember. Well. You know, like they'll remember that. Like, oh, Jazz gave us a little package, man. It was quite nice of him. Yeah. So little things like that go a long way.
Because people remember that as well. People remember that.
And I know for a fact no other bar providers do that. And I won't mention any names, but like, you know, we are also guests at weddings. Believe it or not, most of the weddings that we're guests at Syrupbar are also providing the alcohol, but there is a few that doesn't happen at. And there is nothing wrong with that. But what I do realize is when there's a sharp cutoff, there's a sharp cutoff. And then I think, like Jazz just alluded to, when you have that sort of extra added service feature where you're like, you know, here's a hamper with all of the alcohol that you've chosen for your package, it goes a long way. Like you said, it's the last thing that people will remember, right? Yeah. And that's quite nice for us.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, that's good, man. But is there any upcoming news for you lot?
There's a few things in the pipeline, man. I can't say.
You must spill it on the podcast, man.
I can't say too much right now.
Just juice, bro. We need the juice, bro.
Not too much right now.
You hear it here first, man. You hear it here first.
There is some really exciting things coming up. And definitely keep your ears listening into what's coming up on Instagram.
Yeah. But you lot will be invited.
Yeah,
this will be coming soon.
Yeah,
we'll sponsor.
Yeah, sponsor. Yeah, definitely. We'll do another podcast on that one.
We've got a good space to do one as well. I'll give you that much.
Yeah, nice studio, man. I like this, man.
It's really nice what you guys got going on here.
Definitely, man.
And now some exciting things coming up. We're going to keep some of those cards close to our chest, only because until all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted and that signature's on that piece of paper.
That's it.
I'm not saying it just yet.
That's it.
Fair enough, man. Yeah, you got to keep your cards close to your chest, innit?
Definitely have to, man.
And then only show them when you know when it feels right to, man. When it feels right, when it's time, then you're gonna do it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good, man. But yeah, tell me more about your days in the DJ, man.
DJ was fun, man. I kind of miss it.
So how long were you lot doing it for,
bro? You know what it is. When I was a kid, I say in my teens, like, you know, like 13, 14, we used to go, like I said, with Sting and that. They're good family friends. So we used to go help them out and stuff. And then as everyone, where they started off, they see them, the live DJs, and that's like, you want to get there. So then I remember I bought my first Allen Heath X-Zone 62 Denon 4500 controllers, set up in my little garage, started DJing, got help from obviously all the olders and stuff, got their music library, but we started on CDs, so CDs were hard, bro. Now Serato, you just press sync and like
that's it, man.
But it was fun, bro. And yeah, we just slowly got into it. And then I remember he wasn't a part of it. He wasn't really that much into it because he was in uni, he was doing his thing. And I must have said to him, I said, bro, like, you're like a host, just mic it with me kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then we set up Team Sam and Jazz, and yeah, man, we had fun up and down the country. We done a few events, Norway, America, done one in India. And then, yeah, Syrupbar came, and then it just made more sense for the future to obviously.
Definitely.
I think one of my earliest memories, actually, big up Chunks as well on here, kudos DJ. I think we were in Marriott on the Bath Road. I'll never forget this day. And like Jazz alluded to, you know, Denon 4500s, you know, what happened with them? They jump, right? When you got your bass spins going hard. And I remember him clearly panicking, and I'm like, what's wrong? He goes, my CDs are jumping. And he threw me the microphone. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? He goes, say something. And I remember just literally, I'm not ashamed to say it, I was like, whoa. Basically said whatever I said on the microphone. And I realized he was like, that was really good. Stand up and say it. And I stood up and I said it. And that was it. I think I went back to Jazz. I was like, you know what, maybe we can give this a proper go. I'll get involved as well. Yeah, I do miss it too. You know, we did one of my good pals' wedding at the Landmark, what was that, 2 weeks ago on the 30th of September? 30th. And with Taran and Amrit from Paragon. And I think it was about, I'd say about 10:45. And I just said to Amrit, just get out of the way, mate. Give me the microphone. And that was it. 45 minutes to 1 hour, just shelling on the mic, having so much fun.
Nah, but sometimes you got to do that, mate. Especially if you've done it in a long time, why not, man?
Yeah, why not enjoy yourself?
If you're good at it, enjoy it, man. Enjoy yourself, man.
That's when you realize, right, I do want to go back into it sometime. I got to remember, you know, we run a company now.
But we actually set up our own DJ company that not that many people remember. It was actually called Regnant Entertainment. Many years ago.
No way.
Them days when everyone went for entertainment.
And it was funny because we actually started hosting parties. Like I remember Asian and Hanslow. You got a few other venues around that area where we hosted events. Yeah. So we did it with you know, like some DJs. We all came together, started sending tickets. And it was just like, whoa, like this is fun. You know, at a young age, most of my friends were out doing whatever they were doing, but we were on the road making money and enjoying it. So I thought to myself, well, hold on, why am I going to want to go out and spend money where I can do the same thing and have fun and make money? So that was my ambition in life. I was thinking, you know what, I'm about making money and enjoying myself. So it just fell into play, bro. Like, probably same for you boys, you know, like obviously you lot.
Nah, even same way. I remember one of the first times I saw you lot was on Lancaster Road. Down that,
let's not say that road too loud.
Sorry. Down at that community centre when we were young. I was young. I was young then. And I remember I seen you and I was like, you know what, these are having fun with it as well.
I think one of the first ones we did as well. Do you remember TKC on the Broadway?
TKC upstairs.
I think I remember that. We did a twins' birthday party.
No way.
And I was like, wow, like we're actually doing this now, you know?
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It goes so quick.
It's mad how like being in the industry, like you meet so many people, like, bro, I wouldn't have met you two if we wouldn't be sitting here right now if it wasn't for us.
I don't think any of the four.
Like you said, when you're seeing 400 or 500 people at an event, you know, I'm sure anyone in our industry needs to be quite extroverted. You got to be able to just open your mouth, have fun, have a discussion. And you don't know what doors that might open.
Yeah, literally, man.
Even I think you said the Founders Club, like we did the Founders Club at Cardio Security, whenever that was now, to be fair. I keep saying a few weeks ago, people, how many events did you do?
It wasn't that long ago.
That's what I mean, because some days you're doing 2-3 events, right? And even that day, some of the people that we met, you know, you would not meet them just in any other sort of scenario. It would only be like through that sort of event. And I think when you meet people like that, it opens up doors. You make friends as well for life, like you guys, you know. I've known you lot for yonks.
Especially when your cocktails taste so nice. That's a conversation starter, right?
Literally. I can't lie, your lot's cocktails get me drunk, bro.
That's the key.
That happens when you have about 50,000 of them.
Nah, it's not even that. Like one day I had about 5.
Yeah,
bro, I
call them the creepers, man. Like you have one, you have 2, they taste nice, and the next minute, you know, you're like, wow, I'm quite shut up right now, man. I need to tone it down a bit.
Yeah, it was creeping on me. I was like, nah, I need to stop going there, you know.
Especially the lychee martinis.
Oh, yeah, those
are my favorite too. And I'm not even allowed to drink out my.
I got a question for you, actually. What's your favorite cocktail that you lot make?
You know what?
What's a fan favorite?
It has to be a porn star martini.
Nah, I disagree.
People say it's a bit of a ladies' drink, but
I like them. I like yours.
Yeah, I think it's a lychee. I think when we were looking at some of our spreadsheets not so long ago, and I think this year alone we can easily say, if you're going by just the amount of glasses that we've actually hired and taken to an event or 2 events, over the year, we've definitely delivered over maybe about 7,500 just maybe lychee martinis. That's not including obviously you have 4 cocktails on most events, 3 or 4. So yeah, you do the maths, man. That's a lot of people liking that drink.
Old fashioned's a good one too. Old fashioned, you know, you got loads of cocktails, but what I find is the most popular ones that people go for, shall I say, is your mojitos, your variations. So you can get like a strawberry, mango, lychee. You get your lychee martini, passion fruit martini, and then something like a whiskey based, like a whiskey sour, old fashioned. You need to remember when I'm selling it to clients as well. Sam touched base on service. You want service to be efficient and fast. You're paying for a service. Definitely, you don't want to be waiting at the bar. So for us, we always recommend our clients, you want to go for something that tastes good, easy to serve, and it's efficient, you know?
Fast.
You're taking 3 boxes and people won't complain.
Yeah.
You can't have someone shaking behind and, you know, like waiting 5 minutes and you got 400 people to serve.
Especially if it's something like an espresso martini, you know, you got to boil the water, you got to get the coffee beans ready. Even though they taste delicious. And sometimes, guys, let's be real here, some of the cocktails don't suit the Indian palate when you're at an Asian wedding, for example, right? If you're having all of this heavy food and then you're throwing espresso martinis down, it's not going to end well.
A lot of people just go straight for the whiskey anyway, and the whiskey and the vodka.
This is it, man.
Yeah, whiskey Coke, you can't go wrong, man.
Can't go wrong. Yeah, whiskey Coke.
So what was it when you made all your cocktails? Or was it all like trial and error? Like, did you just go through a whole bunch of bottles and just sat down and said, yeah, that's the one?
We actually do consultations with our clients. So let's just say you two are going to get married.
Hopefully not.
Obviously not together. But just say you guys come to our office. We'll invite you down for a cocktail consultation. We'll have loads of ingredients. We'll have our head mixologist, and we'll just go through it, having fun. We'll create designs. You might say it's a bit too sweet. We'll eliminate some stuff, add some things. You know, we design cocktails, design the names to match his and hers.
That's crazy.
So there's so many.
So you lot design the cocktails specifically?
People want bespoke cocktails.
No way. I didn't know you lot did that.
Like even I think for my wedding, we my missus is quite into her gym. She wanted something with protein powder in it, which some people are like, what do you mean? But it tasted delicious. So we came up with a protein cocktail, which was delicious. Might I just add? So yeah, I think you obviously got to try. People are different. But one thing we always say to our clients is if you're coming to our office for a cocktail consultation, do not drive, get a taxi.
Be ready.
Yeah,
be ready.
That's good. You're not saying to them drink and drive.
We don't condone that.
We might as well book him for one of those next week. Let's get that down.
When you get back from Mykonos,
yeah, man.
No, but it's about the build up. You know, you want to have fun. You know, weddings are stressful, bro. So for a client to come and have that little ease taken off their shoulders, have a bit of fun, and they have trust in us. So then after that point, you don't hear from them because they're like, you know what, we met Jazz.
We put trust.
We're not over the phone. Like some people don't see each other. So when they see us, they're like, you know what, we like him. Like we trust him. We trust their brand. And from that point onwards, you see the reviews.
Smooth sailing from on that point, to be fair.
Yeah, man. So it's all good, especially at the end of it when they come up to you, give you a hug and say, you know, everything was so good.
That's the best feeling.
That's the buzz. That's the feeling.
It's a small thing, but it means a lot. It means a lot.
The whole 6 weeks before is like non-stop back and forward. Okay, the itinerary's changed, that's changed, this has changed. But at the end of the night, when everyone's happy and everyone's good, and
especially when you're putting your all in for it, right?
Exactly. You know? And you made the memory for them people on their big day. That's the best feeling.
And everything's caught on camera, just like us now, right? So you do not want to be making mistakes out of it.
It makes you proud as well. It makes you proud as well. Like I done this.
Yeah,
because of me, this happened.
The best is when a new client messages you and says, "Oh, I've been referred by this person. I was at their wedding." That's like, a game changer because you're like, wow,
people are talking, like people are speaking about
us. So we're in people's conversations in the evening, maybe at dinner table or in the pub or something, and that makes you happy, bro. Like good things are being said, you know, not bad things and stuff.
100%.
That's what we live for, bro.
So I'll tell you a funny story on that point. Jazz is not going to appreciate this, but I'll say it anyway. So
we'll edit this bit out,
You know when it's like 3:30 in the morning and we're, you're hungry at the end of the day, right? So we end up pulling up into McDonald's. I won't tell you which one. So anyway, we pull up into the McDonald's and this was literally a few days ago. So we pull into the McDonald's. This is hilarious.
Big up Ashford McDonald's.
And the guys open it and it doesn't matter. He said it now. So anyway, so we're at Ashford McDonald's and the guy's staring at us and I'm looking at him. I'm thinking, why is he staring at me like that? So anyway, he's like, was the event good? And I'm thinking, what do you mean what event? He goes, I follow you guys on Instagram. We weren't even in our Syrupbar vans. We were just in our car. He must have saw Jazz's uniform and he's like, it was really good, looked really good, blah, blah. And I'm like, wow. We drove off and we're about to dig into our McSpicy, big up on McSpicy. We're like, wow, that's crazy. Like we didn't even know this guy and he's following us on our Instagram. He's even made a comment about the event and
he's noticed you lot
to be fair, he probably noticed us because every Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
I wasn't going to say that bit. I did that bit out.
We're in that car park. But yeah, man. Good.
Nah, that's sick, man. So like obviously like during your last booking process, do you lot like find any difficulties with the clients in that? obviously you have fun with them, but there must be some sort of difficulty.
There's always difficulties, bro, man.
Same for you guys,
It
right?
depends. Like, are you talking about if they already booked the difficulties from that point, or is it
The
before you're
process before they get to book.
trying to confirm the booking?
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to talk about the process up until confirming the booking, there's loads of difficulties and challenges that you find. You know, like,
But we don't want the client to also feel that, right? Yeah, they will have 100, maybe 100 questions, or even 100,000. Some of them, right? Some of these bridezillas out
different,
there.
But
man.
you know how they are.
But
You got people like, you know, you boys probably know, you got people like undercutting you. You got people saying that they'll match the package and add more. Or you just, there's loads of things.
You
bro,
got to
and,
stay strong to your brand as well and your service, right?
know,
100%.
And that, I think that's also key. You know, like you can promise people the world, but if you under deliver on that day, you're never going to be taken seriously
Exactly.
again at the next one.
Exactly.
So I think from our point of view, I think if you just have, you know, an open, honest approach, you're transparent from the get-go. You sometimes clients also want what they want, right? Now you got to be honest with them. You got to say, you know, like, that isn't the best thing for your wedding. And I'll go back to what I said about espresso martinis. You know, when you're paying for an unlimited drinks package and you're going to, and espresso martini is one of your cocktails as an example, I already know you're only going to go through 50 of them. So if I'm going to go back with a whole load of stuff and you're not getting value for money, where we're open and transparent, we'll say these are the ones that will fly off the shelf. If it's the bride and groom and they're quite particular and they really want something, no problem, we'll provide that for you guys. But don't waste your money and provide it for your guests that they're not going to appreciate it sometimes, right? And it's like all bride and grooms or all customers and clients, whether it's corporate world, people know what they want, but sometimes they don't really know what they want.
They don't know the crowd too tough.
Yeah.
Same way with us, like the same way we can relate is when we go to weddings, they give us an itinerary, they give us a playlist before.
sometimes
We
the
go
playlist
there,
don't go
the
hand
whole
in hand.
crowd's completely different.
Completely different, man.
And you're just like,
completely different.
And that's the worst, because even when we used to DJ, I'll never forget, you know, the itinerary, and sometimes at the end of the night, they'd be like, why didn't you play this song? And I would just say to them, I don't know about you guys, but I would say, just watch your wedding film back and tell me what you think once you see that.
I remember one time, so this client wanted this one specific song the whole night. He told me numerous times, I want this song played, I want this song played. I was like, cool. I played it for him twice that night,
Didn't remember it.
Then the following day, he called me. The following day, he called me. He's like, bro, I'm happy with everything. He's like, you smashed it, blah, blah. He's like, but I'm very disappointed because you didn't play the song. I was like, bro, I played it twice. And then he's like, no. He's like, no. He's like, you didn't. Like, he was just so persistent that I did not play
that event because he could have been drunk.
That's also true.
He was definitely sober when he was on the dance floor, man. But so there's a thing. He's like, prove it. So I was like, how do you want me to prove it? Then it clocked to me.
What's the video?
On Serato, you can see all the songs you played.
History.
You can see the history, the date, the time you played it, everything. So I screenshotted it and I sent it to him. I was like, there you go.
What did he say to that?
He didn't reply to it.
Yeah.
You get something
you're going to get something
reply
like
to
that
it,
along the way, right? That's part of the parcel. You can't, and that's another thing. Like even from a point of view of doing an event, say it's my own event, you're never going to please all your family and friends. There's one person that's going to be complaining about,
always,
there wasn't enough ice in something, or there's another person said, you know what, the butter chicken wasn't really butter chicken, it was something else. And I think it's very hard to please the masses, but I think if you're true to yourself and realize that you can't always please everyone, and just try to do the best that you're going to be doing throughout that event, it normally works in your favor.
Yeah.
But when there's 500 people in anything, or even 300, even 200, you can't satisfy everyone. And
but
even
have you lot had that yourselves, like where you've gone through the whole process of, this is the drinks we're going to make, that's what we're going to do, this is how it's going to go? Have you still had that at the end where someone's still...
Sometimes, definitely.
It's funny because when you come to our bar, you have a bar menu, right? So everything's on that bar menu. Some people say, for example, is there any Cavassier? And it might not be Cavassier on that bar menu. It's not down to us though. It's down to the client to book that, right?
So like some do.
And you get clients that
they chose the menu,
kind of thing, say, how have you not got Cavassier? And you just got to tell them, well, the client hasn't booked it. They booked this package. So there's no point in having a go at me kind of thing. But it's sometimes where if someone did want it and a shop's like a Tesco's is local, just to make him happy, I go buy him a bottle. Because, like you said,
that's
goes a long way. It goes a long way.
Syrupbar experience.
I'll buy you a bottle. I won't tell no one. I'll put it underneath it. Every time he comes, just give him a Cavassier.
That's good because you're going the extra mile for them.
It
goes back to them remembering it because they remember that, man.
All for the 2024 clients. Let's just slow down just there.
Don't
going to be at Tesco 24/7.
If they're in a Tesco there,
don't book no venues, there no Tesco's in there.
Make sure Tesco's or Sainsbury's nearby.
That's it. Hold down the
Tesco's more so you get club card points. But yeah, man, it's like you said, bro. There's difficulties in every path you go, but you just got to make sure you maintain them.
It's how you approach them as well. It's how you approach if you got someone being difficult in front of you and you're dealing with a difficult client, it's how you approach it.
Yeah.
You can't give the same energy that they're giving. Because if you do that, because it's just gonna end. It's just gonna end bad.
Terrible. You don't want to leave a sour taste in someone's mouth unless the cocktail's supposed to be sour, right? So you don't want to do that. And I think sometimes that does happen. You know, and then people are looking at you like, well, why was it like this? And why was it not done like this? And I just think, like I say from the beginning, when we started to sit down, I think if you're open, honest and transparent, you won't have those issues.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's the best thing. Honesty is the best policy.
Yeah,
man.
definitely.
If you be honest from the get-go, because if you start lying, because in that lie, you start building on more lies, but it's just make you look like an idiot.
Yeah,
man.
but that's why we have bar menus too, from our point of view, right? It is what it is. This is what the clients asked for. This is what they wanted. And that's what you're getting. And look, let's be honest here. Let's open up the forum a little bit. There isn't many weddings outside the Asian wedding industry where you have an open bar.
No.
You got to pay for your drink. So beggars can't be choosers sometimes.
£6 a beer. You know,
£6 a beer.
Yeah, that's, like, that in itself.
Yeah, I've had people come to weddings with me. They're like, so how much money should I bring with me for the bar? And I was like, what? And then they're like, yeah, for the bar and that, because the drinks are not going to be free. I was like, they're free, bro.
Let's just say those weddings we also do, we also charge if clients want to book us.
As well, because I've seen it recently, because we do quite a lot of mixed race marriages and stuff like that. Yeah. I've seen it pushing into the industry as well.
Yeah, we did. When did we do one last? Was it Bankers Hall? Bankers Hall,
Nigerian wedding. Party. They put tabs behind the bar. We tell them when the tab's about to run out. They have a full print of.
But then you can have a full menu. You know, like truly. Then when you're going to do a paid bar, you can have a full menu.
Whatever you want.
So like obviously you can have your Ray and Nephews. You can have something a little bit more bespoke, or something as not everyone's favorite. Maybe even E&J. But that's when you provide everything on.
You never know what someone might ask you for. You never know. At least you got it there as well.
Yeah, but that's also a different type of event and a different type of client. Some clients want to not have a single person say, I want, or they didn't have what I want. Yeah. So it's actually better. You'd rather say to the person, you know what, charge me for it, right? So it'll be easier.
Too much your way. But no, it's true though. Like I think it's something that's expanding as well. Like a lot of people are seeing it as well, and they appreciate it because it's different. It's like, okay, cool. If you're in the hotel, the bar's outside, but it's just the standard stuff.
You lose the atmosphere as well, right?
They ain't got the cocktails flying. They ain't got the bottles going around. It's different.
Bar's a big thing now. Like Sam touched base on back in the day as we were kids growing up. Uncle G would come put bottles on the table, and that's how you drink. But now people want that controlled, you know. They want a bar in front of the dance floor.
Class as well, right? And a bit of class as well.
You know. So
that's another thing as well. When I saw you lot were one of the first people I saw that actually put the bar on the opposite side of the dance floor.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That was you lot were definitely one of the first people
around the round.
Yeah, and a lot of clients
if bar companies don't want to put a bar opposite the dance floor, it means they don't want that much alcohol to be consumed.
Yeah. Exactly.
And with us, we don't care. It's unlimited. Drink as much as you want. You'll never drink us dry.
You. Exactly.
And we want to keep the party together. DJ, dance floor, bar. Why would you want to break it up?
It keeps the party in the center.
Because that is a party.
And you got options. You got options either side. You can either dance. You can go grab a drink while you can go grab a drink while you're dancing.
Some of the most prestigious venues in London or outside of London, and there's no point in having all of your party outside of the venue that you've paid so much money for. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, granted, there's going to be some times where you can't make it work because there's just not enough space. And there's going to be situations when that does happen.
Yeah.
But in the main, if you can keep it in the main room, then you're
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, you're winning.
That'd be great.
Because you don't want to look back at your wedding video and you're like,
where is everyone?
Dance floor's dead.
Yeah, where is everyone?
Because it makes the DJ look bad. It makes the whole bloody party look bad. But keeping it together that's what the buzz is about, 100%. You know? You're bringing that nightclub kind of effect, that party vibe.
Even that, one of the first things that I just talking about the nightclub effect, I know none of the competitors have done it because they've only done it since we've done it. You know, like when we all go clubbing when we were younger, I don't go clubbing anymore if anyone's listening, but you know, you get this, the theatrics, so like the sparklers and, you know, bringing the shots to the dance floor.
Yeah.
I remember when we first did that, I think Jazz speaks to most of the clients because he's in the office all the time, to be honest with you. But I think a lot of the time when we did that, how many people came up to you and said, we want that, we want that, we want that.
The shop boards out.
I can't lie. I was about to say that the shop board, you're the first people I've seen do that.
I know.
I've never seen no one do that.
A lot of people are doing it now.
Yeah, a lot of people now doing it, but it's definitely trendsetters on that.
But the thing is, once you see it once, it's always going to be replicated.
I remember when we were going to first do that, and I was a bit nervous. I was like, is it going to work? Is it? Because obviously it's an Asian wedding, you know. Is it going to work? Is it not? And we did it, and I look back at, as you probably see on Instagram and stuff. It was a vibe, bro.
It was a vibe.
It was a vibe.
You got to try things, bro. You got to try things.
Like everyone, from that point, everyone just huddling around, like, you know, like the main person in the middle with the trays, and you see Tequila Rose, Don Julio just getting
flying.
That's what you want, though, man. You want to be different. Because in this industry, I feel like you have to be different. You got to do something different, man.
I feel like every year the whole system changes.
Yeah,
like,
everything changes.
The technology and with what comes in new is every single year. Clients here and they're like, okay, but I want that.
Yeah,
I want this.
I saw this at this person's wedding.
It's good you touch base on that. Even we did an exhibition. Where was it? It was at the Savoy. Was it last year? And we had an LED wall, which you guys as DJs have. And within the LED wall, we had cut out mirrored boxes with all lit up with showcasing alcohol. And people were like, I don't think we've seen that before. We might have seen it a couple of times, but no one's really done it on the scale of this size of this LED wall. Yeah. But it showcased that, you can be different and you got to move with the times and you can incorporate what the DJs use quite fluently, Yeah. And on the back of that, we could have had our promos on the go or even little things that we've discussed. I don't know, we should give it all out here, but maybe for next year, having actually the bride and groom, if it's an Asian wedding or a client, whether it's a corporate event, literally walking up through a video on the LED wall saying, come to the bar, like this, literally come to the bar. And if you see that on an LED wall,
cut that bit out.
Cut that bit out. But it's those sort of things that we sit there and brainstorm in the office. Like, how can we be a little bit different? How can we add that little bit, like as Thierry and Rupert, that little bit of vavavoom, right? So we try, and you're going to fail at some things. You're going to do some things that don't work in your favor. But I think as long as you keep beating the drum, something's going to come your way, right? And we definitely, I think it's fair to say we tried to stay, try to stay current.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's the best way for it. Like we did a exhibition together in Grosvenor House.
Yep, that was also last year, wasn't it? Was it last year?
I think last year, a couple of years ago.
A few weeks ago.
According to Sam, everything happened a few weeks ago, innit? But now, like everyone, because we did our stand differently, a lot of the tension was at our stand.
Yeah. Oh, that was when we joined up with Paragon.
I remember
that one, like, oh my God.
Everyone looked at that like, wow.
So many.
That was a beautiful stand.
I could not believe how many clients I spoke to that day, man.
You kind of cornered the market then because you got the DJ, you got the bar, and it's like you're hitting both of them together. So you've got both the clients and
same way Sam was saying, like you can incorporate the two things together.
It's different because no one else done it.
Music related, right?
Work together. So
man, it's always good to collab, bro. Definitely. If the client can get a further discount by booking both of us, why not?
Because it benefits everyone. It benefits everyone though.
Exactly.
Because the client gets a discount.
Yeah.
You get your business, we get our business, and like end of the day, everyone's getting what they want.
I know we work with all suppliers, but you'd also want to work with the people that you work closely with. Yeah. Only because things are just that little bit more fun, a little bit more seamless. Like, for example, if I am with some of the DJs that we work quite closely, whether that's Paragon, whether that's you, or whoever it might actually be, it's like I can just give you a wink from the dance floor. Now, you're probably looking at the dance floor because you want another Jameson, but regardless of the point, if I give you a wink, it's that time for the shots to come to the dance floor. Yeah. I don't have to be screaming and shouting or trying to ring, message,
it's all seamless as well. Yeah.
It's seamless, which is quite nice, right?
Definitely.
Different.
It is different, man.
Because that's another thing, because I feel as if like we've been at events for 15 stupid years. I've never seen anyone like another bar company work so closely with DJs as well. Because a lot of them, it's not like we don't really know them. Yeah. A lot of them, they come from the caterers, or the caterers are really supplying, and the caterers don't really like talking to us. Yeah, I don't know why.
Well, it's normally like you supply the booze and then the caterers run the bar.
Yeah,
it's always like that.
I feel with you lot, it's different because everyone knows you guys.
That's still there though. Touching on Karan's point, like there's sometimes clients when I see them at exhibitions or if I'm on the phone to them, they say to me like, well, we're going to buy our own alcohol and we're going to get the caterers to serve it. And look, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're saving a bit of money, by all means, you crack on. But the advice I'd always give on that point is you don't want to run out of alcohol. You want professional bartenders behind your bar. If you're asking for a gin and tonic, you don't want someone to pour a gin and soda, just little things like that.
Things like that.
It's those things definitely. That make your bar company and make your service exceptional, like, you're like, wow, that's why we're going for Syrupbar. Because all these little things, you want to make sure you're putting the crushed ice, the cubed ice, you got your bar caddies, your napkins, your straws, your bar menus, the flare tenders.
I feel like you lot put a lot of entertainment into it as well.
But you lot staff are the best.
Yeah.
That's what I say. You lot staff. I've actually become friends with a couple of them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you lot staff are the greatest, man.
Yeah, no, they're good,
you lot staff are the greatest.
We always have a briefing at the beginning of the event, and just main thing is smile.
Yeah,
you have to smile, bro.
Yeah, a smile goes a long way. A smile goes a long way.
A long way, man. Remember that face. And you know what? My bar staff guaranteed will get tipped every event, and it's like because they're giving that service.
Well, previously, it was just the DJs get tipped, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But they love what they do, though.
Yeah,
they love what they do,
man. Yeah. They definitely do. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of work, bro. You've seen it. Right? Yeah, there's a lot of tension on us as well. A lot of people waiting for a drink and stuff. You just want to make sure. For those 6 hours that it's unlimited, 6-7 hours, just keep it going.
I think we're a fun brand as well. Like I think I'd happily and openly say we're a fun brand in comparison to some of the people out there. We're a fun brand. We treat our people with respect. And that's why we don't lose our staff members to anyone. You know, sometimes we have staff members that'll be, oh, I used to work here. I used to work there. Are you employing? And it's not because, you know, me and Jazz are special. It's just because we believe in an ethos, have fun. And, you know, when you have fun, good things happen.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, there is some seriousness to what we do too. You know, alcohol, people are getting drunk, intoxication's high.
Yeah.
But I think, like I say, at the beginning, when Jazz is briefing the team, you know, because he's got a better looking face than I am, and they're already smiling when they see him. That goes a long way, you know. He loved that. He loved that. That's my one mate. Just be like, hey, you can have that.
That's why he's got the fleece.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, that goes a long way. I think if you're just smiling and you're happy go Larry, you know, it goes a long way. It really does.
Definitely does.
And you can't complain. I think when you're standing behind a bar and someone's asking you a drink, you don't want to look at someone's got a screw face because they don't want to be there. And I don't.
Trust me, I wouldn't drink that drink, man. I want a drink that's made with beyond, bro. With love, with a smile, innit?
You know, put a little bit extra in. That goes a long way. Because I'll be like, I want to get my drink poured from her.
That's it, man.
No, don't say that. We adhere to our measures.
Yeah, man.
So, like, one thing I wanted to ask you lot was, like, do you get on with all the caterers? How do you find it working with caterers? The same way we were talking about clients want to bring their booze in sometimes. They might cut a bit of price here and there. Like, how does that work for you?
I'll let Jazz vent on that one and I'll vent afterwards.
You have to work with everyone. Whether you might not have a good relationship with them, whether you do have a good relationship with them, we work with everyone closely. You know, like, you have team meetings where you might go do a site visit to the venue with the caterers and the client and the DJ and stuff. We like working with all caterers as long as we get fed. But no, like,
that's a must.
We work with everyone. Like, we work with Madhu's, we work with La Fresco, Premier, Greenleaf, Shimla.
Big names.
There's a lot of people we work with. Like, don't get me wrong, there's some caterers that want to do the bar service and they're adamant they have to do it. I'm not going to say no names because I'm not one of those name and shame guys, but it's like, it's quite frustrating because you get sometimes where people say, well, that caterer is saying that they don't allow a third party bar provider. And I'm like, why? They're a caterer for food and we're a drink supplier for drinks.
You should have mixed the both.
It's two completely different things.
Yeah.
And it kind of puts a sour taste in your mouth.
I wonder where they're getting their drinks from.
Well, the thing is, you know, I think the only people that can do two things at once is Syrupbar because we can DJ and pour drinks, right?
At the same time.
But those are the difficulties I find, like, especially like when you've got such a good relationship, but they've already booked the caterer.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, caterers got majority of the control of an event, right?
All of the pull.
So it's like, how do you get around that? And there's times where we've set meetings with certain people, we've given them our rates saying, look, we're happy to work under your banner worst case. Because I think it's all about business, right? We just want to be busy. And it's just, it doesn't work sometimes. And it's like, well, hold on then. We recommend you. So why not you're not recommending us kind of thing?
And we're not saying that you have to recommend us solely. Like, recommend a few. Give us the chance to sit in front of the client. You know, give us a chance to actually, you know, tender for the project if you, as you want to put it. Like, so we can showcase what we can do. But sometimes I think, you know, just adding to Jazz's point, and it's not about naming and shame, but there is a few, you know, that they're adamant they want to have their hands on every part of the event. I think take me back to Scion Lounge 2022, back in November time.
A few weeks ago.
Scion Lounge 2022. And I remember I was like, it was supposed to start, let's say 7:30. It might have been 7. And we're like, where's the cheers? Are you ready? I'm like, where's the cheers? And then the grooms come in the hall and he's like, why is there all the tables? Where's the cheers? And I was like, well, who's the decor company? Because, you know, normally the decor company provides the cheers. And they hit me with, oh no, but my caterer is providing the cheers. And I'm like, what? Come again? Why is the caterer providing the cheers? This is the point. I think people need to realize, you know, stick to what you're good at.
Stay within your own wits.
Yeah, stay within your own wits. You know, as a caterer, you're good at providing the food and your food is great. Why are you providing the cheers just as an example?
The thing is this adding extras and then obviously they're going to outsource them.
Yeah, and that's what it was. But then, you know, it wasn't outsourced, lack of communication, and the cheers.
You know, like, there's things that go hand in hand. Like the DJs, the client might say, can you provide door players? You lot know that goes hand in hand, right? So you can go source the door players.
Exactly.
But little things like, if someone said to me, Jazz, can you go source a dance floor? I'm going to be like, well, no, because I'm a bar provider. I can give you the recommendations of the people that we work with. That goes a different way. And I'm not going to try and make money on my clients when I know how much costly a wedding can be.
And then on top of that, you're taking on a responsibility that you don't need.
But that's also what we do. We also add to the client clients, like, you know, in that smooth process, we will say to them, you know, there is people that we can help with, but it's not about us being the middleman. No, we're just going to provide you a number.
There's no point.
Because we know, I would never recommend anyone that I don't trust. That's the first and foremost.
Definitely.
I think we can recommend a few numbers and say, look, now it's between those guys. Just the same way we want to say to the caterers, recommend a few bar providers, leave the rest to us. And it's not that we're, you know, if we're not being booked, so be it. We're not being booked for whatever reason. At the end of the day, what I've realized in life is, whether it's this industry, another industry, or whatever type of job you're trying to do, there's levels to things, right? You're going to get your premium. You're going to get your mediocre. You're going to get something a bit more cost efficient. Now, there is nothing wrong with that. You know, so clients' budgets, especially for weddings or what type of event it might be, it's expensive. And you don't want to make people feel a type of way because they might not be able to afford our brand. You know, there's nothing wrong. If you can't afford our brand, we're not going to leave it. We'll still give you all of the information that you need. We'll put you in touch with suppliers that are probably a little bit more in your ballpark figure. There's nothing wrong with that. They're not bad suppliers. It's just that they might do things a little bit differently and a bit more cost efficient. And that's us being open as suppliers, you know, and in the game, you know, we're willing to share the business. But I think sometimes you do find you don't replicate that in reverse. And it's a bit sad sometimes, but so be it. You know, you can't win them all.
You can't win them all. Yeah, you win some, you lose some, but you got to maintain that relationship, because they might not book you this time around, but next time you might get that booking. You know, so
you never know, man.
It's all about relationships.
So
it's all about
same way with like how you go through caterers advise you. Do you do the same thing with DJs and like road shows and
DJs? We've got our preferred suppliers that we work with. You know, like
it's the big ones, obviously, as you guys know. You know,
we'll recommend you boys. You know, we recommend Paragon, Kudos, Sting. Those are the main ones that we recommend. But because again, we got good relationships. We got good relationships with Paragon. We got good relationship with Sting, and obviously you guys as well. So we do a lot of business together. So if we're giving them business, you kind of get business in return. So
it works both ways, man.
It works hand in hand, you know.
So you guys are Party Rock, Mike. We just had as well, right? As well on top of that.
Yeah. Let's not forget Manav sitting on the right hand side watching us.
In the room somewhere, gets upset.
I'm still a freelancer, but I'm with the
There's another point.
You know, big up Manav actually. He gives us midweek events. That's what we like, bro.
And I think, you know what, another thing is, I think with DJs, I think now, all DJs in our industry, we can play all, right?
Yeah.
I say we because I still feel like I'm one.
You are, man. Once you are,
it's in the blood.
But like we can play
does one announcement and then goes outside.
He didn't even bought his fleece with the
Jazz played auto cue. There you are.
Good times.
Nah, but the point is, like, obviously there's certain DJs that will do better for certain cultures, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you can play into that. You know, there might be, I won't say any names, but there might be DJ X that does better with this culture, and that's not because they can't do another culture, but it's just it fits a bit better sometimes.
That's their forte.
Yeah, that's their niche. That's what they're good at. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm happy to say, you know, like that person might be better for you. You know, like for example, the Assyrian wedding we done. I wasn't going to promote someone that doesn't know any Iraqi, Iranian, or any Assyrian music or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
It's not going to work, right? Yeah, and I think that's also important, knowing what people are good at. Going back to the point where, you know, some suppliers try to do it all and other suppliers try to just focus on what they're good at.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think on the DJ front, most people are in good hands, right? You don't come across some people that don't know what they're doing in that space. There is a few, you know, wheeler dealers or Del boys, you know, but
as they go.
Yeah, there is a few. DJ Manav, big up DJ Manav, all time DJ Manav, man. Biggest bedroom DJ going.
The caterer side of things, you know, like you got to have that initial conversation with the client. Fingers crossed they haven't booked a caterer where someone would say you can't use a third party provider. But what I've been finding recently is I'm getting clients for 2025 and I'm like, okay, cool. You want to book us? Where's the event? Who's your caterer? And they're like, we haven't got a venue, we haven't got a caterer. And I'm like,
but it never used to be that way.
You know,
never. It was always the caterer was first,
3 weeks before,
then the venue. I know the 3 weeks. That's one avenue. It was always like last minute. But normally, your first port of call, you guys know this, right? First port of call is you got to have a caterer because they're the in to the venue.
Exactly.
But nowadays, we're getting, you know, we find that we've done well with our client base and, you know, our social media following and what we're trying to promote, where people are actually asking, well, actually, now we wanted to just make sure you're locked in first. But then we still have to have that discussion with them quite openly and frankly. Like, well, it has to be a caterer that they're willing to work with us, not the other way around. Because we're willing to work with everyone, right?
It's like that so many ways around. A lot of companies don't want to work with certain caterers, certain venues don't want to work with certain companies.
Exactly.
This is
either way around, isn't it?
But you know what? There's never difficulties, man. As long as you can just, like I said at the beginning of the show, keep a calm manner. You can't be frustrated. You just got to support the client because at the end of the day, the only one you have to please is the client.
Is the client,
right?
yeah.
That's
And there's plenty of work, right? And I think people take that for granted. You know, you don't have to be squabbling over anything. There's plenty of work. You know,
There is, man.
enough
There is.
for
You just got to
everyone.
be looking for it,
Yeah,
man.
but sometimes
that's
I
for
think
the undercutters as well.
but I also
That's for
feel
the
like when you
undercutters.
provide a good service, you don't need to look for
And you know your
I
worth.
feel like
You know
they
your
find
worth.
you, right?
You know what you're worth, man.
Yeah, they
You know
find
what you're
you, and
worth.
I think that's also important. It's nice when people ring like, well, you know, the one that I think frustrates me sometimes is, well, you might give someone a price as a client, and they'll be like, but this person's coming in at this, or that person's coming in at that. That's when you got to have that open, frank discussion. Well, what your budget is, if you want, like I say, the premium or the mediocre or the cost efficient, that's your choice. But we won't frown upon you for the choice you make. But just, we're not going to budge from what we know to provide a great service, not a good service, a great service.
There's a massive difference between the good and the great.
Yeah,
Huge
and
difference.
that's important. You know, you don't want to be, like I said this earlier in the show, like you don't want to be over promising and under delivering. That's the worst.
That's the worst,
You don't ever
That is
want to
the
be in that
worst.
situation, because that's all they'll ever remember. So I think from our point of view, again, open, honest, and transparent. That's some of the ethos that we have at Syrupbar.
Love that.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
But like talking about like caterers and other clients and stuff like that, and other suppliers, who would you say your best suppliers that you work with?
Oh, I don't know.
Can't really say that, man.
They got three sitting in front of them. Three sitting in front
We'll stick away from the DJs.
You know what? All suppliers are good, man.
In their own way,
In
right?
their own way. Everyone's got, you know, some people might do certain things different than other people, but I don't think we can really say who's the best and who's not the best. Like, we're not those kind of
No,
people.
I'm not saying who's the best. I'm just like, who do you?
Karan's trying to start a fight.
No, I think there's a few.
Let's not some beef. Let's not some beef.
I think there's definitely a few we'd rather work with. In all
course.
honesty, the same way that there's some certain suppliers would rather work with us. I'm not, like we said earlier, we're not in it to just name and shame and pretend to be like more pally with certain people. At the end of the day, look, I don't think it matters what suppliers we want to work with. What matters is what the client wants to book. Then we make it be seamless from that point onwards.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like I said, it goes back to that same thing. Client has a budget. Whatever that budget might be, whoever it may be, you know, as long as you're working quite closely with those people and you're being honest with them and you're like, this is what we're going to provide, this is what you provide, it doesn't matter who it's with. As long as you can set the foundation straight from the get-go,
Yeah, of course.
it goes a long way.
But like when we first started, there was caterers that we never worked with, and then all of a sudden we got an event with them, and now we're friends, you know. So you make relationships as you go along, you know. Like Lafresco, how long have they been around? You know, we did the owner's wedding, Rahul, at the NHM. He trusted us to do that.
Yeah.
We haven't known them for 10, 15 years. It's probably been a short stint, but at the same time, that shows you we blossom relationships. You know, like Shimla, we worked with them multiple times when we first met
Mothers
them.
and Arjun and what they do,
you know, like all of these lot, you might not meet them, but when you do meet them, you build a rapport, and then that's it. It just carries on that from that point. 100%. So that's when you can recommend them, because you can say, we've worked with these suppliers. We know they're good. Like we know they deliver a good experience and stuff, and their food's delicious. So you just got to make sure you have that.
That's also a hard thing, because the food is so good from all of them sometimes.
Yeah,
what do you even say? It's like, what?
I feel like everyone's got their niche market. Everyone's got their niche market, man. But like, yeah, so caterers overall, other than the ones that don't want other bar providers to be there, they're all good, bro.
And I think anyone listening to this podcast will know some of those suppliers, right? And it is what it is.
Definitely. I know you two quite well, and obviously, like, as it comes to business, as you both are money men, I find that your lot's property, the way you lot go about things with that, like, could we go into there? Could we talk about that? Like,
what do you mean by
your investments? Like, how you work with your things? Like, because you lot are obviously not just one industry people. You lot are all around the way.
He basically wants to know where your fingers are in other parts.
I'll be honest with you. What I learned in life, and Sam will probably vouch for me. From a very young age, I've always been like a hustler. Like in terms of, I used to come home. I remember with my Greenford High School blazer, and I used to empty my blazer on the bloody table in front of my mum. And there'll be hella pound coins, and she'd be like, "How did you make that?" And I'm like, "I was playing dice with my friends." You know, just from a very young age, I've had a really hustler's ambition. And for me, it's like, if I'm doing something that I like, whether it's property, whether it's Syrupbar, whether it's, you know, like doing Airbnb and stuff like that, these are all the things I like doing. You know, I want to be successful, so my kids in the future, you know, will enjoy an easier life than we had. Generational wealth. Exactly that way.
I think, let me just add to Jazz's point on there. I think because obviously we're business partners, but we're also brothers, right? So it's about finding that balance. And I think Jazz is
easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. Definitely, I think Jazz definitely
coming with a black eye.
I think here we go. This is when the bullshit comes out. Don't edit that bit. But I think like if I'm going to be honest, Hustler's ambition definitely comes from him. I've always seen knowledge to be power. So I did the degree, I did the masters. You know, my parents wanted one of us to not be an unpad. You know, he might bring money back, but one wants the certification.
Yeah,
and that's just part of life, right? But he has his benefits. I have my benefits, 100%. And I think. Now, this is going to people be like, they're competing now. But I'm going to be real. Even on our investment front, I might say something to be a good investment. He might disagree, which is perfectly fine. But we need to sit down and say, well, what are your pros and cons for that reason?
Yeah.
I think it takes me back to some of the decisions we've made in more recent times. You know, like Jazz wanted to, for example, this is something that most people won't know. You know, we Airbnb'd a house in Southall. Now, Jazz's thought process was, well, you know what? Well, people get married. People come from all over the world for Indian weddings during the summer. And I'll be honest with you, I'm open to admit, I was like, that's not going to really work. Mate, it went from strength to strength. And I looked at him, I was like, right, you onto something here.
A couple of my clients, funny enough,
were some of those Airbnb.
No way.
Honestly,
and I'm like, wow. It happens, bro.
But
I
I
think
think
you got to put your mind to it.
Yeah,
it's all the vision.
Yeah, and I think
never give up, bro.
Never give up. So I also think the difference between me and Jazz somewhat is on that front is sometimes Jazz will chase the pounds and chase the thousands, chase the millions. I feel like if you chase the money, it won't always come. I think with success comes the money. Money's the byproduct. For me, I want to look down the line and I'll say it openly on this podcast. Hopefully I can bring it into fruition. I want to be Forbes under 40, whether that's through Syrupbar, setting up my own liqueur company or my own whiskey brand or a different variation of cognac, whatever it may be. I think money will come when you reach that success. So my advice to you guys,
bro, manifest that shit,
as also our little brothers as well to a certain degree. I think my only advice would be have an open mind. That's very key.
Yeah.
Don't be scared to fail because you fail at many things. I can tell you a handful of business ventures that we failed at. You know, Jazz decided to buy a fish and chip shop, you know, opposite a school. The thought process was great, you know, but we didn't go throughout the whole process and, you know, we sold it. Now, when we look back at it and drive past Chertsey High Street and we see the school and the fish and chip shop and the kids outside the line, you know, I know he feels the type of way. But the same way that's something I did.
Motivational,
you know,
though. It's motivational.
You learn from the mistakes that you made.
I look at it like when I go past that shop, I'm like, I've made someone else make a lot of money and I'm happy for that because I've given someone a chance to be successful.
But that wouldn't have been what it was. You know,
how I look at it.
Everything happens for a reason as well. Everything happens for a reason.
Your fate is written already. Before you make that decision, it's already made. You know? So at the end of the day,
on the way here, Jazz was like, do you believe in fate? And I was like, yeah, we definitely believe in fate. He goes, yeah, but I said I'm going to take a right turn and I didn't take a right turn.
This competition is going to get so deep right now.
This is what I like though, because
this competition is going to get mad deep.
What we're talking about now, where you
one thing I want to say is, which I just missed out on, which I wanted to make a point on, was also where we grew up. You know, like where we grew up, you had to strive for greatness. Otherwise, you weren't going to get out some of the rut that you would know around us, right? And a lot of people are successful from my area, dare I say it, because why? They want the next best thing, like you said, for the next generation. I think anything that anybody does in life isn't just for themselves. And I think if it's for yourself, you're quite narrow-minded.
Yeah.
And when you're narrow-minded, you're not going to go too far. So we'll leave that bit there. But Syrupbar is definitely, out of all of the brands that we've set up, is definitely the one.
Everything that you lot have gone through, the ventures. That's what I'm saying. It's not like you don't just cool.
Tomorrow we got that
idea. Tomorrow we got that idea. We're gonna sit down. That's it. Bang. We're gonna blow.
Exactly.
This is what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. We set up in 2014, bro.
Yeah.
We were probably dead for the first 2-3 years. We're doing one bar job here, one bar job there.
But we're not afraid to say that, right?
You know, like I'll openly say that. I'll openly say that.
Nah, you should never be afraid from where you started from.
Never.
You should always be proud of it. You should always be proud of it, bro. Always be proud of it. Like, I said the same to you lot, like,
and you gotta try things out.
Yeah.
You gotta go through different
trial and error is a big thing.
I think he said something. With risk comes reward, right?
Yeah.
But you have to take the risk sometimes. Without taking the risk, you don't know where you're gonna end up.
Yeah, like bro, like people. But even he would say, like, bro, people leave so many hate comments on my TikTok videos that I put of this podcast. Bro, I don't give a shit.
You know, I say to people like that. Keep hating because I love the attention.
I love it. I love it because people because on TikTok, bro, how long does it take you to flick off one video?
Yeah,
a point of a second. Yeah,
bro. Guess what happened? So my boy, the Hit Hustler, big him up, personal trainer, and that, doing well. You know, he's sober for X amount of years, 5-6 years. He's on holiday, and I see on his missus' Instagram that someone's reported his account and they disabled it. He's a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Like, why are you hating?
And you know what?
for?
Every post that guy put down, like literally that Sook put down, was so motivational.
Yeah, of course,
was trying to keep people on straight and narrow. He's a recovering alcoholic. He says that himself openly. And for someone to come and break that page down, and report it, that's
damaging your business. That pays. You never know that might pay your bills, your mortgages and stuff. And for people to even have the heart, or it's called evil eye, bro. Like, just stay away from those kind of
evil
people.
eye. It's also like a thing in the back of the head that it's something that they never thought that they would do. Yeah. So when they see other people do it, they hate. Because they actually take time out of their day to do something.
While we're on that topic with the hate thing, I did an exhibition at the Savoy hosted by Madhu's Asiana. And there was a client that came up to me not came up to me, she was walking past me, and I went up to her and I'm trying to engage with her to obviously sell a package. And she said, "Oh, we already booked." I was like, "Who did you book?" And she must have said a bar company. And you know what I said? I said, "You're in good hands." I'm not going to start bad mouthing that company because then it makes me look sour and bad,
Yeah.
And that company, and I got it on my Instagram, actually messaged me the next day saying, "Bro, the client told me what you said. Respect for that kind of thing. That goes a long way."
Yeah.
And that's what we are like,
There's enough work to go around as well, right?
100%.
It is. If everyone's willing to work with each other instead of being so salty and having politics and stuff
It's
like
a
that.
multi-billion pound industry.
Literally.
It's not worth a few 100,000. It's a multi-billion pound industry.
It's not like there's only fucking 6 weddings a week.
You know what I mean?
But the thing is, people
if we got 5 weddings on one day, that's just
how many
one
of the other
supplier.
providers?
How many other suppliers? So there's a lot of work.
There's a lot of work, man. But there's a lot of Indian people. There's a lot of Asian people in this world in this country getting married, man.
But that's one thing I want to touch upon. Like, also us, we started off in that industry, and we're grateful for where we came from and what we tried to achieve. But even on that front, some of the exciting things we haven't said and that we won't say is coming out of the industry. Not completely, because we obviously know where our bread and butter is, and we want to do right by our people and all the above. But we are trying to break into some of the other industries. Like I said, some of the other type of cultures out there, whether that was One Bankers or the Nigerian or Fairmont for the Assyrians. But people all want to have fun, and I think the brand that we've tried to build together, through thick and thin, is about providing fun. You don't have to be a certain race, color, or creed. You could be anything, and we will happily provide you.
Because everyone wants that common thing.
And I think that's one thing that I want people on our Instagram to realize. That's important.
That's why I like you. Your business is lit.
And we're Syrup, bro. We're not only alcohol.
Yeah, it's not only alcohol.
We do like mocktail weddings. Like
we do milkshake bars for children's
fresh
parties,
chai, all of that kind of stuff.
Chai stations. So, like, I'm doing a candy floss station at an event in Barnet this week.
Probably.
And I'm not providing the candy floss guy. See, that's what I mean. I'm not stepping on his toes. But I'm providing he's got 36 different flavors of candy floss. So we're trying to provide
I didn't even know that there was 36 different flavors of candy floss, bro.
On that event. Like, it goes a long way, right?
But keep your eyes peeled for that one. You'll see some nice cocktails on that one.
Syrupbar on Insta, man. I can't lie. You lot are some of the biggest following Instagram bars I've seen.
No, I appreciate that. And I think a lot of that comes down to, with credit, you always say this, Jazz is actually quite hands-on on that front. He actually enjoys doing some of that stuff.
It's not only down to myself, it's down to everyone, like you guys reposting, sharing. It goes a long way. Like
even the hit hustler.
Some people, like, you send them a message saying, "Can you post this?" And you just see like blue tick or C.
It's like WhatsApp.
And it's like, all right, well, you're blocked. Like,
yeah, do you know what it is? Like, people that want to give you the energy, they'll prioritize you. They'll repost it.
That's it.
Because you never know, something that he might repost or he might repost. So you might get a booking out of it.
Even you never know. Last week we were at Marriott Grove in the Square, and there was a gentleman I've never met before. And he went live. And I wasn't there. Jazz was actually there. I just turned up and I see him going live, and I just heard it from afar. And he's like, "Oh my God, like, everyone, I have to go live because this is the nicest tasting lychee martini I've ever had." I don't even know this guy, but he's gone live. He's showing up Syrupbar and he's adding to his following. When I went on his following, I was like, Jesus, he's got like a lot.
Exactly. You never know what that person.
That's what we go back to. At these events, networking, the whole thing.
And I think what people fail to realize in life is like, you can kill people with kindness, and it doesn't pay to be kind. You can just be kind. You can add value to someone's brand without even realizing. Something so small like that little video will go to all of that person's following, and we repost it. Then that person that doesn't have that following from a different type of market all of a sudden receives that following. And I think it goes hand in hand. I think the people that are closed-minded are never going to go far in life. And that's just my open opinion.
You're right.
You're
work with
right.
one another, man. You got to build each other. You got to push each other, motivate each other. Positive breeds positive outcomes, you got to be open-minded.
I feel that's a thing with a lot of Asians as well. Like, the way we're raised up is, you're the man. Everything's on you. You have to be that person. So for us, it's hard mentally. Like, it's it's a lot to deal with. But
definitely.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown, right? As Stormzy put it, right?
Exactly. the way, man.
Heavy is the head, man.
But no, it's been a pleasure, guys. Like, I really appreciate you guys having us on today. Speaking
definitely
about our company and our brand. Very grateful. As we said, we've known you guys for a long time. It's one of the first things that we've done, something like this. And who knows, we might get on the show next time around, or we might actually disclose in the next show.
Dad, you know what? It's all about doing things out of your comfort zone, man.
Yeah.
But look how this came along. We were at a gig last week.
Literally at a gig.
And you said you do podcasts. I was like, yeah, book it. And that's it. It was booked.
Literally.
Although he flopped you last week, though.
Yeah, sorry. I got a bit busy last week, but we made it happen.
Nah, it's man, man. But listen, bro, I'll happily have you lot back on it again, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Happily, man.
It's good to hear from the business side, from the perspective of something that's different. Like your brand is completely different to everything else I see. It's so out of the way, and it's good. I think it's good for young people. It's good for people who want to come into the industry, who want to come into the event scene, see how you guys come from DJs, MCs into that bar game. It's a whole complete different game.
We appreciate the love, man. Truly.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
But yeah, listen, we're gonna wrap it up real quick, innit? So thank everyone for watching. Leave a comment, subscribe on our YouTube channel. Do not forget to follow Syrupbar. I'll leave the links in the description. Follow the DJ Kash. I'll leave his link in the description as well. Take care and peace.
Signing out.
Signing out.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, everyone. Thank you.